Hello folks, and thanks for joining me for another video here over on my YouTube channel. In this video, well, it's a bit wet outside this weekend, so I decided I'd have a go at answering a few of your questions. A lot of people were asking how do I go about planning for a long ride, so I'm going to attempt to answer that question in this video. So let's go straight into this, and let's start with, where do you plan on going? Well, where you plan on going depends how much time you have to get there. So we're going to assume, as this tutorial goes on, that we're going to have a weekend to ourselves. What are we doing it for? Are we doing it for leisure, or are we going to have a challenge? Ultimately it boils down to where we're going to head to. So if you can answer those, how long have you got, how long is it going to take you to get there, where are you going, you can start planning out a route. Oh, and finally, of course, you need to know, do you need to sleep at all? Where are you going to stay? Or how, where and how are you going to stay? Are you going to camp? Are you going to go in a B&B, Airbnb, a hotel? Or are you just going to bivvy out in the open? So, yeah, once you've got answers to all that, you can perhaps start on a route. So, let's assume you're going to do about 300 or 400 kilometres over this weekend. Now, if you've never done that distance before, you're going to have to train for it. Probably, depending on where you are fitness-wise, perhaps plan 6 to 8 weeks to get your body ready for it. And you can do that in a number of ways, really, by extending your distance over a period of time, perhaps doing 60 or 70% of the entire distance, 2 or 3 times on the lead up to the, let's call it the event, the holiday. Now, before I sit in front of the computer and plan out a route, there's things that you need to be aware of before you, pick up the mouse and start doing things. Things to be aware of, and things you need to have running through the back of your mind. Shops, food, drink. You need to make sure you've got plenty of food stops in your route, and there's plenty of amenities along the way. You need to make sure you break it down into manageable chunks, perhaps going through certain villages or scenery that you've always wanted to go look at, towns, places like that. You need to make sure you don't go off-road, because that's not good if you're on a road bike. What's the weather like? Is it going to be any sort of flooded roads? Has it been raining a lot in the last few weeks? You just need to factor all this in. So, roads. You need to be wary of busy roads and what time you're going to be riding along them. Even though it's weekend, it's a little bit quieter out there. You need to make sure, if you're going to be on a busy road, you're at a relatively quiet time of day. So what I tend to do is, if I'm leaving really early and we route on some busy roads, take full advantage of those busy roads early hours of Saturday morning, because it won't be busy, it'll be quiet, so you'll be able to cover a long distance, go in a straight line to wherever you're going. We talked about why are you going on this holiday? Is it a holiday? Is it actually for leisure? Is it a challenge as well? So how hilly do you want it to be? Do you want it to be flat? Do you want it to be scenic with nice views? If you want nice views, then you need to have some hills in it. From my experience, think about how much climbing you're planning to do across the weekend. And finally, in this section, make sure once you've done your route, you've got it on your computer the night before, because the last thing you want to be doing is messing around really early hours of Saturday morning and putting the route from your phone onto your GPS. Get it done the night before, get everything prepared on the bike the night before. I'm going to talk a little bit about what you should take with you as well. So before we do a deep dive into route planning and getting in front of that computer, you need to think about the weekend itself. I mean, is this weekend coming up, or is it next weekend? Can we say what the weather's going to be like? As the weekend approaches, you need to be thinking about looking at the weather forecast more on the run up to it, and planning what you're going to do in case it rains. And if it's going to be a rainy weekend, are you still going to do it? Hopefully you are. You're not going to be put off by it. So you will need to think about taking some waterproofs with you. And I generally, if I'm going to be going out for the entire weekend, I'm going to take lube for the chain. Depending on the time of year, in the summer I'll take like a ceramic dry lube. If it does rain, it's going to wash off, so make sure you take it with you. And as I mentioned before, night before the weekend, make sure your bikes are, its tyres are pumped up, it's all ready, all the luggage is on it, and it's all fit to ready to go, because 3 or 4 in the morning, you don't want to be messing about pumping your tyres up or making any last minute sort of decisions. Get it all sorted on the Friday night. So in this video I'm not going to show you the kind of luggage that I would take with me on a 300 to 400 kilometre weekend. I'm going to show you that in a future video. I'm just going to talk about the things that you could take with you, the things that you should consider taking. For a weekend away, I'd be definitely taking a saddlebag with me because I would need a change of clothes, and definitely if you're gonna go backpacking, if you're gonna set up a tent or bivvying, you're gonna need to take a tent with you, or a bivvy bag, of course. Perhaps a sleeping mat, definitely a sleeping bag. So you've got to think about how you're going to put all these kind of things on the bike, as well as your essentials that you normally take with you, like your bike pump, levers, puncture repair kit, and of course spare inner tubes, things like that. And of course, depending on what time of year you're going to be going, you're going to have to think about lights if you're going to be riding into the night. I would always take 2 rear lights with me and a front light as well, powerful enough so you can see where you're going should it be really dark. If the weather turns, you need to be able to see in the fog, and if it's drizzle, visibility gets really reduced, doesn't it? So make sure you've got a good pair of front lights, or front lights. One should be fine if you're going out in June, July, August. Now within your gear, you're going to have to be carrying food and drink with you as well. Now how much you take is entirely up to you, but don't forget, there are shops out there. Make sure you've got a card, a debit card, and some small change with you, because just go in the shop, buy something on the route. You don't need to carry everything with you all the time. And also you've got to think about how you're going to power your devices, especially if you're going to go in a campsite. You need to keep your Wahoo or your Garmin charged. Your lights you probably won't need to worry about, as long as you power them up the night before. You won't need to worry about that. You can take your phone, take loads of photographs, and on the evening time, if you're in a tent or something like that, you've got no charging places unless you're in a B&B. So definitely want to consider taking a power bank. So just to round that up, in terms of gear, things to take with you, you need power, electricity for your devices, power for you, food, nutrition. You need to consider what you're going to take in terms of essential tools like inner tubes, lever tyres, tyre levers even, waterproof, how you're going to need that, and how you're going to carry in the bag on the bike. Stem cell bags, frame bags, saddle bags. There's lots of different options out there, and again I'm going to cover lots of those in a future video. So I'm going to jump on the computer in just a moment, but first I need to answer a few questions. Where am I going to go? Now I've never been to Scarborough, so in this video we're going to leave Cleethorpes and head to Scarborough. I've already worked out it's about 320 kilometres there and back, so we can do that. I've never actually been, I'm not actually going to do this ride, but you never know, I might do in the future. So we're just going to treat it as if it's a real holiday for a weekend. Now this 2-day weekend will be more about leisure, but there'll be a couple of challenging sections along the way, so you'll see me going. I won't be going in a straight line all the way there. I say the route is about 320 kilometres. I might make it a little bit longer. And for the first purpose of the video, I'm going to stop at some point on the evening time, camp up, and come back home again. So I'll know roughly how long I've got to get to the campsite, and we'll talk about that as I do the route. So without any further ado, let's turn on the computer and I'll show you exactly what I do and how I plan my route. So as you can see, I'm in front of my computer now, logged into Strava, ready to go. But before I do, just going to tell you a little bit about my setup here. I'm using a MacBook Pro and 2 monitors. Well, one of the monitors is of course the laptop screen, and what you're looking at now is on the big HD Samsung monitor. This configuration suits me down to the ground because I can clearly see a much bigger screen. I also can use the laptop screen use it for like booking.com or Airbnb, so I can be consulting both screens at the same time without closing the other. So it's useful to have 2 screens, and as useful as 2 tabs or more can be, it's also nice to have 2 screens. So anyway, that's enough about that. So here I am in front of Strava, so we're going to open the route builder. Now there's 2 ways of doing this. You can either use a plus symbol in there,
or you can also go through here, click on My Routes, and then click on Create New Routes. So I'm going to click on that now. Now, if you've never used the Strava Route Builder, it's always been available, and it's always been in beta as well since the beginning of the time. So I'm going to start the ride from the local church, which is here, the Humberston Church. So what I'm going to do first is just do a 2-click on the route. I've decided I'm going to go left. This gives me the option of clicking undo, and I still retain the start point. Before I start doing the route, I've got a whole weekend to myself. It's not an Audax, so I'm going to put a nice sleep stop in there as well. I could probably, depending on what time I leave in the morning, let's assume I leave about 4. That gives me a good 12, 16 hours maximum to get to the campsite around Scarborough. And I haven't decided the way I'm going to camp yet, so I'm going to show you that bit as well. So we're going to go have a nice countryside run. So I know lots of these roads. We're going to go through Waltham. Then we're going to go into the lip of the Lincolnshire Wolds. It's a nice scenic route, this one. So we're going to drop here. I say drop. We're going to climb up to Bilsby. And then we're going to drop down into Swallow along the rollers. Follow Brig Road. Bearing in mind this is early hours of the morning, of a Saturday morning, so it's going to be nice and quiet. Let's zoom out a little bit. Because we need to go across the Humber Bridge. So at Bigby Hill on the hairpin, we're going to turn right there. Just going to follow it all the way through to Burnham. Now at this crossroads, there's actually a nice sign for the NCN1 route. This particular village of Burnham, you actually go through here during the London, Edinburgh, London, which I'll be taking part in next year. So there's a nice place to just take a picture just there of the NCN sign. It's one of these yellow totem poles, let's call it that. So anyway, we're going to go straight into Barton upon Humber. So we're going to go down the eastern side of the Humber Bridge. The western side is often closed. Now, I'm probably going to go this way, which means joining the busy A15. But again, it's early Saturday morning, and I've been on plenty of rides, group and solo rides along here, and it's not so bad. You just hop over quickly. There's a church around here. There we go. There's the church. So I'm just going to go to the church, and we're going to go. That's a one-way street, so we're going to go around the back of the church. Well done, Strava. So we're going to go around the church. In this way, I want to go through Fixendale. That's a nice area to go through. And Fixendale is through here where these wiggly bits are. So we're going to let Strava do some of the legwork. Now I've been through Huggett, so I like to go through there. So let's just jump ahead a little bit and let Strava do some of the work. So adjust that slightly to go down York Lane. And then I'm going to go down the A166, turn off onto Fixendale Road. Now this part of East Yorkshire is absolutely beautiful, so we're going to go through there and come out the other side. Now we're actually still a good distance from Scarborough, which is up there. So I've never been to Scarborough, so anything from this point is new territory. So I don't know a lot of this part of East Yorkshire, North Yorkshire now. All I know is I want to be to Scarborough, and it's 5 hours roughly. Now if I left at 4 or 5 in the morning, it's only 9 o'clock, so I've got loads of time to get over to Scarborough. So how about I go into the Howardian Hills for a little while. So let's click through here. Let's have a look at the elevation round. Haven't looked at that yet. And this is the advantage of having a big monitor. You've got plenty of room to see it. Whereas on a laptop screen, you struggle a little bit. I'm pretty sure that is the statue, the Castle Howard, and that's there, Castle Howard. That's the estate grounds. So this is really, really nice road. So I'm just going to follow this all the way up, down the hill into Slinglesby, across the crossroads, down the other side. This is all downhill. This bit is lovely. So we're just going to zoom out a little bit. 160 kilometres. So we're doing. It's going to take us off there. Well, that's good. let's do that then. And let's take a few points off, see if we can see if Strava will work out a way to go in between. So I don't mind doing this. This is fine. It's a nice road. It appears to be all road, no off-road sections. So that's going to take us into Pickering. Now let's look back over the route for a second. Let's see if we've got plenty of places to eat and drink. Now I know there's plenty up to Hull to stop at. There's bound to be cafes around some of this area, and this is a small village with shops, so we can probably get a drink there, something to eat. And this is where you do a little bit more research a little bit later on as the date approaches, and just in the route as you go really. Maybe actually more think about it, around the 70-kilometre mark we're going to, well, what I could do is adjust the route to go into Beverley. Now looking along here, there is actually a place called Walkington, and as we zoom in more we can see a cost cutters there, so we could adjust that route to go a bit nearby into cost cutters, grab something to eat there. Or alternatively, I tend to look on a website called caffeinetwork.info, and that'll show you loads of bike friendly shops, so we'll factor that in at some point. But for now we'll just zoom back out again, go back up to Pickering. Not sure this is going to be a good road to take, but since there were 7 hours in, about 7 hours moving time, we left nice and early. It's probably only about 3 o'clock in the afternoon at this point. We don't have a lot of distance to travel, so we could potentially go into North Yorkshire Moors, but there's not many roads across, is there? These are all paths and things like that. There you go. No. Just going to find out together, really. So we're going to have to go all the way up to here, to Whitby, before we can find a route. So I'm not going to do that. We're going to come down here. I don't know what kind of road this is, to be honest. We're zooming a little bit. It's got a bike lane down here, so there's potentially we could be following that. So let's follow that, shall we? Zoom a little bit. Let's assume it's a good quality one. We're going to get to there. We're going to zoom out a little bit. So we're on the outskirts of Scarborough. Let's zoom in a little bit. I think we're going to come onto this road here. Well, let's say it's a summer's day. We're going to go to Scarborough, and we're going to have a look at we're going to stop at the castle. So there's plenty of places to eat here, something to eat, drink. But we want a view, don't we? So we're going to go around to this dock area here at the harbour. We're going to click there through there, and then so we've done 214 kilometres, nearly 9 hours. It's probably the middle of the it's probably early afternoon or early evening, sorry. So we're going to, after this, we're going to plan to somewhere to camp. So you need to factor that in before you start coming all the way back again. So what we'll do at this point, we're going to assume we're bivvying there. We're not going to go through the hassle of finding somewhere to camp. We're just going to save this and give this a name like To Scarborough. We're going to go over to the top right corner, create a route. Now I'd like to come back on like a C road. So we're going to zoom into the starting point. And click there, and then click here and there, and we're going to let Strava do some of the work. Now I know this is quite a busy road, but there's not much choice. So where's that taking us? Is it taking us off road? No, it's fine. So this is the main road south, but we're going to follow Filey Road at least up until here. And we're going to go inland a little bit by the looks of it. Just going to follow it all the way down. Don't want to be over there too much. Running out of land. Bridlington. Coming off there. This looks nice. We're going to follow this down. Hornsey. I've been around Hornsey. I'm going to follow the road down here, all the way towards Spurn Point, which is, let's just jump across a little bit. Let's make some assumptions. So we're going to go through Wivensea. Undo that. Through Wivensea to Patrington. And then we're coming to Spurn Point now, so we need to head back. So we're going to stick to the main road. It's not that bad. It wants us to take us this way, so I'm happy with that. It's somewhere new. There's a bike path starts along here. So I'm going to keep going all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Mess around here, because it's a really busy dual carriageway. Just follow it all the way to at least there. We need to be following to Hull, to Anlaby Road. Could need to get to Hessel Road somehow. So yeah, follow it all the way around here. These are very busy roads. I'm trying to avoid the A63 there. Hessel, keep following Hessel. We should be back to the bridge before long. All the way through Hessel. This is nice. The part of this here is we can cross over there. I think it's that one there. But perhaps we might need a drink at this point. So after 130 kilometres, I'm going to go through Hessel. Okay, the Hum Bridge. Now normally all this takes a lot longer than this, so I'm very roughly doing it now. We're going to go. This is a nice road here. On the back of Thornton Curtis. We're going to go nearby Brocklesby Park. It's great limber. Nice hilly return through Swallow, Bealsby, all the way through Watford, Humberston Avenue, back to the church. Okay, so that took a little bit longer than I thought it would. So we're just going to save that and give that a name, like to home, save. So now we've got two routes, to Scarborough and back. So the journey there is going to be 214 kilometres. It's going to take 9 hours of moving time, 2,000 metres of climbing, and on the way back 182 kilometres, so it's about 110 miles, something like that. Not much climbing on the way back. We're going through the coast, and it's going to take us 7.5 hours. So here we've got a rough idea of how long the whole thing's going to take, and we've not really spent much time on breaks and places we're going to stop, so you need to factor that in as well. So we did a little bit of preliminary work on the way there, but we're going to take a look on the way back. Just make sure we've factored in enough places to, lots of, some big towns this is. So I'm just going to go to edit because it makes it easy to look around. So we're going through Filey, it's a big place. Bridlington, 35 kilometres. So this is all the early hours of a Sunday morning. Hornsey is a pretty big place at 60. There's bound to be cafes around here. So we're approaching 100 kilometres. There's a co-op. I think it's a co-op. I'm thinking of the wrong place. It's Forgenbold, I think. So this is a quiet road actually. This is not too bad. So we'll adjust this here. And let's say there's a co-op somewhere along here. And adjust the route so it goes through that part of Headon. Cut that off. Cut that off. It's a slightly busy road coming through here. That's not too bad. This is a tricky road, staying away from that one. No, not that one, this one here. That's not very nice, so we're cutting that bit out. So as I can see it, got plenty of opportunities to eat, drink. Just getting rid of the scrappy bits, which are here. Can't go down that road. Not on a road bike. Save. Done. So that's the route. That's the route made. So assuming we left at 5 in the morning, we've got that's going to take us 9 hours of moving time. Let's just adjust that for stops and things. It's had an extra couple of hours on it. So if we left at like maybe 6 o'clock in the morning, we could get there, about 4, 6 o'clock in the evening. Probably closer to 6:30, maybe 7 o'clock. Take it nice and easy. That's plenty of time to get to the campsite, get set up. But you do need to make sure if you are camping, that the check-in time is okay. So we could actually have a lie-in coming back, because that's only a shorter distance coming on the way back. So there you go. That's the route sorted, and we've got a good idea of how long it's going to take.
So now you've done the route, you've got your bike ready the night before, you're ready to go. It's 3 or 4 in the morning. It's on a Saturday. You start pedaling. Now what? Okay, so we need to think about breaking the ride down into those manageable chunks. Hopefully you've done that already. You know exactly where you're going to be stopping for cafe stops, and you've got food in your pocket. But once you're out on the open road, there's certain things that you've got to be thinking about as you're going through the rides. So I'm going to start with food and drink during the ride. Now, hopefully you've got food close to hand in your stem cell bags or your top tube bags, or just in your back pocket, because you'll be needing to fuel as you ride. My strategy really is to be eating little bits often. Get a couple hours into the ride, have a cereal bar, another couple of hours into the ride, a shop or a late breakfast stop. It's probably a good point for hours into the ride. You need to be thinking about water as well, where you're going to stop should your water get low. If it's a summer's day, you need to be stopping quite often. I can typically drink between 4 and 6 water bottles, maybe about 600 millilitre bottles. Probably go for about 4 just on this first day, and of course you need plenty of water for the return journey as well. So, and not just water. I'll get maybe an energy drink, or a can of Coke. Or favourites like a milkshake, like a Yazoo. You need to make sure you keep well hydrated throughout the weekend. Now for me, I don't rely on gels and energy bars. I like to eat proper food, and also talking about camping earlier, wasn't I? And where you're going to stay and things like that. So you need to make sure as well that once you go to the campsite, or before you get to the campsite, you go for a proper meal. You don't want to be searching around 9 o'clock at night for somewhere to eat. Have somewhere to eat late on in the evening, and then go to the campsite and get yourself set up. So we took a few steps back a little bit there. So let's get back to about during the ride. Positioning on the bike, you need to make sure you're comfortable all the time. I often, when it comes to the riding, I tend to switch my arms about all the time. I might be on the drops for like 30 seconds, then I might spend a minute or 2 on the hoods, and then on the bars. The idea is really just to switch around, get yourself comfortable as you go in, and adjust your position as much as you can, just so you feel comfortable for all those hours on the bike. What about effort? Whether you're doing this for a challenge or leisure, there's going to be times when you're going to feel tired, your body's going to feel tired, and if you are going uphill, your breathing's going to be, it could go quite erratic. So when if you are feeling like your breathing's all over the place, you need to just slow down, take it easy for a while, do a little bit of spinning, and just let your heart rate fall a little bit, and just take it easy for a few miles until your body sort of gets back to where it was before. Which leads me nicely into taking a break. So you do need to, if you've done it right up to this point, you would know where you're going to be stopping. And when you do stop, if it's a lunch break, you need to make sure, if you're stopping for half an hour, you need to make sure you do as much as you can in a half an hour, get all your faffing over with, whatever it might be. If you've had a few things which have not been right on the bike, then get it sorted. If that is a strap, one of your straps which is holding luggage onto the bike, if it's been bothering you for the last hour, get that sorted if you possibly can. If like me, you're taking a camera along, do some shooting, get that done, go for a toilet break. If you're going to be stopping for half an hour and you've got 50% left on your cycling computer, plug it in, get it charging while you're sat down enjoying your coffee. And lastly, don't forget, this is a great opportunity to do a bit of stretching as well. So do a little bit of that, lean over, touch your toes, just stretch basically, make sure you're fit. I tend to do this just as I'm leaving, just have a bit of a stretch before you get back on the bike. It works wonders, it will make you feel good again for the next few hours. And there you have it, that's how I plan for a weekend of riding. I'm sure you appreciate that's quite a long video. I've tried to condense it down as much as I can, but I still want it to be quite informative, so if you made it this far, congratulations, well done. Hopefully next weekend the weather is better than it is this weekend, because it's going to be raining, heavy winds, not going to get out riding at all this weekend, so my next ride will be a commute to work, so that's not fun. Anyway, from me, take care, I'll see you again soon. You got any questions? Pop them down below. Thank you, bye bye.